And the recording is on. So welcome everyone. This is a beautiful Wednesday. Welcome everyone in this session. Basically, the topics will be a week recap, an upcoming possibility for this week ahead, and some backtesting for the past days, about the past days. So let's just start the session on the 4-hour chart. We are currently in the EUR/USD 4-hour chart, and I will just switch to the daily. Okay, perfect. So let's see the current price action. I don't know if you saw the update video from yesterday. I've sent an update video for the video course members, so for you in the update video channel, about the 4-hour price action in this region. And as I said in the video, I was expecting a reaction on this demand supply zone right here. I will just mark it out. This was a 4-hour supply zone in this region, as you can see. And I'm asking you, what criteria does this supply zone have? Why do we call it a valid supply zone? Why is this supply zone, this small supply zone, is a valid supply zone? Please feel free to use your microphone.
It did a boss to liquidity
Balance.
Yes.
and created liquidity right below.
Yes. That's 3.
And it's create a imbalance.
Exactly. That's 4. This zone has 4 criteria. The first is the break of structure to the downside. As you can see, here's a break of structure. The break of structure happened with inefficient movement. As you can see, here's inefficiency. It swept liquidity from this region. So basically, here's triple or double balance in this region, swept the liquidity and created liquidity here. As you can see, here's the first step, second step. But if I zoom in, you will see it better. So here's the downside liquidity swept. Here's the upside liquidity created, swept. Oh my God. People are just texting me to let them in. This is the last time, guys. If you miss out, you miss out. Okay, so continue. Here's the downside liquidity swept. Here's the upside liquidity swept. Tap the supply zone. So this is a pretty very supply zone on the 4-hour chart. But there's some problem with this supply zone. Can you tell me what's the problem with this supply zone? Anyone? What's the problem with this supply zone?
I think it didn't take any. Yeah.
Sorry, speak once again, please.
A huge liquidity above.
Exactly.
Also it's a weak high.
Exactly. That's perfectly right. Here's a huge liquidity line, and this supply zone is just part of the huge 4-hour liquidity line. And this liquidity line is leading up to this extreme supply zone on the 4-hour chart. You can refine this supply zone on the 15-minute and the 5-minute chart. It will be a much cleaner zone. And this zone has loads of liquidity just below it. As you can see, here's triple taps. Here's liquidity trend line. Here's liquidity again. It will tap more liquidity in this region. Here's the first, second, third liquidity trend line touch. Here's one more liquidity trend line. Here's double tap, triple tap. So basically, this is a huge liquidity pool. Please, everyone, mute yourselves if you don't speak because it's annoying to hear your background voice. So yeah, all of this liquidity line, all of these triple double tops leading up to this extreme zone. I'm expecting the tap of this extreme zone. I'm expecting the fake change of character on the 15-minute chart right here somewhere around. Let me just switch to the 15-minute chart. So I'm expecting a fake change of character. And we'll talk about the 15-minute chart deeper. But actually, not even the 15-minute chart, but on the 5-minute chart, market will collect more orders. Market will collect more sellers. Market will create more sell orders in a form of a supply zone right here. And I believe loads of sellers will enter here. It will have a reaction. You could book a couple of bucks and a couple of free rewards right here. But it will be swept because, as you can see, this is just part of the huge liquidity triangle leading up to this supply zone up here, this extreme 4-hour supply zone. Okay, but do not rush. Let's switch back to the 4-hour chart. Okay, as you can see, I will just close this a little bit. As you can see, sorry, I will just change my date right here because it's not 8th, it's the 9th of February. Okay, so as you can see in this region, we have 2 huge inefficient 4-hour candles. Basically, sorry guys, I'm not going to let you in. You're late. I won't let you in the session anymore. You had the time, you're late. That's it. You can see the recording. Okay, so here's these two inefficient candles, huge inefficient candles to the upside that swept liquidity from this region. As you can see, swept liquidity from this region here, change character here, 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 here. So several places and tapped the overall 4-hour extreme supply zone, which is right here, and created liquidity. So basically this flip zone, this 4-hour flip zone, which is a wick in this case, is a pretty damn strong zone. And as you can see, basically our main trend in this region on the 4-hour chart is bullish. My bias is bullish right now. But here's one thing. Supply took over control from demand partly because supply has been tapped. This upside supply has been tapped. Oh my God, Jesus, guys. If you're late, you're late. This is the last time I'm letting you in after this session has started. If you're late, you're late.
I have one question.
Okay, let me hear that.
After a change of character, we aren't bearish in 4-hour.
Let me just continue. So, supply took over control from demand partly. Basically, right now supply is in control, but just partly. The time supply will fully in control if price breaks through this flip zone, breaks through this demand zone. Because as you can see, the bullish momentum, the bullish impulses are much stronger than the bearish impulses. As you can see, huge inefficiencies to the upside, small pullbacks, huge inefficiencies to the upside, little small pullbacks. Just look at just compare the movements to each other. As you can see, huge inefficiency, really, really small corrective pullback on the 4-hour chart. So basically our overall 4-hour trend is bullish in this case. If price can break below this flip zone, our bias will be changed to bearish from bullish. But in between this region, supply is in control because supply has been tapped, but the momentum or bias is still bullish. So if price taps this flip zone, we will look for long entries. And why am I saying this? Because I'm still expecting the tap of the overall daily supply zone. Because as you can see, let me switch to the daily chart. We have this huge daily supply zone, really clear daily supply zone right here, creative inefficiency, breakout structure, liquidity sweep, liquidity creation, anything. It has all the criteria in order to be valid. So, but here's one more criteria. As you can see, this supply zone is part of the liquidity. It's a double tap in this region. And this double tap is leading up to this daily supply zone. So, switch back to the 4-hour chart. Switching back to the 4-hour chart, our bias is bearish in this case. Not bearish, bullish in this case, down to this demand zone. And if this demand breaks, our bias will change to bearish. But if price reacts on this demand zone and creates a change of character on the 15-minute chart, I'm going to aim this daily supply zone up here, and I'm going to aim for longs. Of course, in this region, I will look for short entries. Just after a 15-minute change of character or a 4-hour breakout structure, 15-minute change of character. I will surely look for short entries down to this flip zone. But just notice that the overall bias, the overall structure is bullish in this case, down to this flip zone. Okay, just a small feedback. Does this make sense for you guys? Everything makes sense? It's clear?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry, but can we go to the 1 minute real quick,
Right now?
if you don't mind? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so if we see there what's happening right here, that's the liquidity sweep coming up here, right?
We will talk about the 1 minute later. Okay. We will talk about it later.
Sure. Okay, sure.
Right now, the 15-minute chart is coming. We are going over the time frames one by one. Okay. You will be able to ask your question when we are at the 1 minute. I don't want to confuse anyone. Okay. So, switching to the 15-minute chart. Switching to the 15-minute chart, we can refine this 4-hour zone on the 15-minute chart pretty nicely. As you can see, we have this 15-minute supply zone up here that caused the overall change of character. I mean breakout structure, sorry, because this was the 4-hour breakout structure line somewhere around here. Maybe this was the 4-hour breakout structure. I will just check it in a minute. Breakout structure short. Let's switch back to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, this was the breakout structure line. So the whole breakout structure has started from this candle, as you can see, this 15-minute candle. And on the 15-minute chart, it changed character here to the downside. As you can see, here's a clear 15-minute change of character with inefficiency, liquidity built up. As you can see, huge liquidity line, liquidity. And yes, price just tapped this zone. Price tapped the 15-minute refine zone right here. And I will just mark all of the other zones out and all of the lines with liquidity and everything for better understanding. So here was the liquidity to the upside, and this has been swept. So it has been taken out, and I will just map the strong and weak lows and highs out. Where's the tool? Here's the curve tool. Okay, so as you can see, we have this strong low right here. Why do we call this as a strong low? Why is it a strong low?
Because it broke the previous high.
Exactly, it broke the previous high. This was the origin of the whole movement. As you can see, it even changed character here because we had this supply zone right here, and this strong low, this demand zone, changed character to the upside with this inefficient movement. And this was the origin of the whole bullish order flow to the upside. On the 4-hour chart, this is the strong low. On the 15-minute chart, we have another strong low, which is right here. Let me just smaller this curve. So on the 15-minute chart, this is our strong low, but this could be liquidity inducement for the downer 4-hour strong low. So as you can see, price created a pullback after a change of character here, and from this pullback, price broke through the less high point. This was the less structural high point, and the break of the structural high point happened from this low point. So basically, this is a strong low point. Okay, we just put another curve on the chart. If I can find my curve, here's the curve. Okay, how do we call this high point? What kind of structural high point is this? How do we call this high point? Sorry, once again.
Weak high.
Exactly, this is a weak high point. Can you tell me why is it a weak high point?
Because it didn't broke the previous week high. Strong high, I mean.
Strong low, but yes, you're right. You're damn right. We call this as a weak high because it couldn't break below the last strong low. As soon as price breaks below this last strong low, it will form a new strong high. Sorry guys, just a minute. Okay, I'm back, sorry. So as soon as price breaks below this strong low point, it will create a strong high point. Because if price can break below a strong structural point, it will form the opposite strong point, as you may know from the video course. Okay, so, but right now, the structure is still bullish. If price breaks above this structural weak high point, it will create a strong low again. So if price breaks above this high point, it will create a break of structure to the upside here, and the strong low will be formed again. If the new high point can break below the less strong low, it will create a strong high, and the overall structure will shift into bearish from bullish. Okay, let's mark the demand zones out, and let's delete these structural points. So first we have this 15-minute demand zone down here. And this demand zone is blue because it's a demand. I will just switch the color. So we have this demand zone down here. Why is it a valid demand zone? I'm asking you again. Why do we call this it as a valid demand zone?
Swept liquidity, broke structure to the upside, and caused inefficiency.
Exactly. Exactly. As you can see, here's the inefficiency. The whole inefficiency started from this downside candle. This candle is inefficient. This candle is inefficient. This candle is inefficient. The origin of this inefficiency and break of structure or change of character was this candle. We actually call it as a change of character because, as you can see, price changed character here to the downside. So this was a change of character to the downside, and price changed character back here to the upside. So change of character to the downside, change of character to the upside. So this is a change of character line right here because it broke through this supply zone, created liquidity here for this zone. This could be liquidity, also liquidity trend line, as you can see. Swap liquidity from this region. On the 1 minute, it's a clear liquidity trend line to the downside. And yeah, it has all the 4 criteria in order to be a valid demand zone. Okay, let's find our decisional demand zone, because if a price creates a pullback after the extreme, it will form a decisional if it breaks structure. And it then happened. As you can see, here's a break of structure, another liquidity sweep from this region. So we will have a decisional demand zone. Can you just mark the decisional demand zone? You can draw on my screen. Anyone?
That week.
Yes. Actually, we will refine it on the 5-minute chart, but let's mark this wick out. As you can see, there's clear inefficiency. Okay, just remove your drawing. Thank you for drawing. You marked it perfectly. As you can see, the whole inefficiency started from this candle because here's inefficiency. Actually, it's not even inefficient, but we will refine it on the 5-minute chart. Let me just refine it on the 5-minute chart. It will be more clear. And on the 5-minute chart, we can even refine this zone to this candle, this wick zone, because here's inefficiency, or we can refine this or just use this downside candle here as our 5-minute zone. Because as you can see, the whole order flow has been started from this downside candle or even from this candle, as you can see, because on the 5-minute chart, from this candle, the huge inefficiency started, the liquidity sweep started, the breakout structure started. So basically, this was the structure breaking liquidity sweeping candle on the 5-minute chart. And as you can see, price reacted on this zone perfectly. So yeah, let's keep this zone and let's keep this downside zone. But actually, this is part of the liquidity. As you can see, here's liquidity. This could be part of the liquidity. So I'm going to delete this zone. And let's see how this 5-minute zone looks like on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, actually, this is the right demand zone because actually, here's inefficiency. Here's inefficiency. Actually, there's no inefficiency again. But yeah, what's this small arrow here? Can you just delete it, please? I don't know who drew it here. How can I delete the drawings? Can I delete the drawings somehow? Okay, you deleted, thank you. So this is our right demand zone, the 5-minute chart, and price reacted on this demand zone. Sorry, price reacted on this demand zone, as you can see. Okay, what can we expect from this price action? Let me just switch back to the 5-minute chart. What can we expect from this price action? I will just mark the 5-minute things on this chart again. I will just refine this zone. We can refine this 5-minute zone down to this. We can refine this 15-minute zone down to this 5-minute zone. So let's mark the things after the supply tap. As you can see on the 5-minute chart, this was the last demand zone before the inefficiency and before the breakout structure. So basically, from this demand zone, inefficient push started. Here's a pullback, and from this demand zone, another inefficient push started, and the supply tap has been happened. And as you can see, price reacted on this demand zone here pretty nicely and created a flip zone. As you can see, the overall flip zone has been formed here. So this is our flip zone. But this flip zone, as you can see, has become part of the liquidity because price created this movement, created this pullback, tapped the supply zone here, came back down, mitigated this demand zone, couldn't create a new impulse movement to the upside, couldn't break structure to the upside. Instead of breaking structure to the upside, it just blew through this demand zone with a small rejection. And after a small rejection, it just blew through this demand zone. But on the other hand, after the broke through this demand zone, price tapped into another demand zone. So basically, demand was in control and this supply became invalid. You needed a confirmation entry on this supply zone to take shorts, but the bullish momentum was stronger than the shorter momentum. As you can see, demand was in control. It just blew through the supply zone. And this supply wasn't part of the liquid lunchtime rip zone because it hasn't started yet at this time. Right now, we are inside of the lunchtime rip zone. And actually, we can mark another demand zone out. I will just extend this zone. This has been mitigated. And the 50% of this zone has been mitigated, as you can see. So basically, this zone has been mitigated. We can mark another zone out, which is this one, this demand zone down here. Why do I call it a demand zone? Because it created an inefficient movement to the upside, blew through a supply zone right here, as you can see, swept the liquidity from here. And right now, it seems like it's creating liquidity for this zone. We have to monitor the price on the 1-minute chart. But as you can see, this zone, if I just open the lunchtime fake out indicator, which has been created by Air Santos. Thank you again, Air Santos. Appreciate you. This zone, this 5-minute demand zone, is not part of the lunchtime rip zone. Can you see it? It's not part of lunchtime rip zone. So it's a pretty valid zone. Everything after this zone until this point right here, which is the New York Open, will be fake. So all of these zones between this demand zone and this timeline will be fake. We call it as a lunchtime rape zone. Okay, so price has a pretty good chance to create. Let me just switch to the 1 minute chart and remove the lunchtime indicator from my chart. Price has a pretty good chance. Sorry, I will just ask it again. Everything's clear yet? Everything's understandable?
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let me just drink. Okay, perfect. So we are on the 1 minute chart. This was the 5 minute demand zone that changed character and flipped the supply right here after the demand tab, as you can see. And the liquidity creation has been started, as you can see. Here's liquidity built up for this zone. And this is these zones, this demand zone, and this demand zone. This has been taken out already, but this demand zone is part of the lunchtime rape zone because this has been formed in the lunchtime rape zone. If I open the indicator, you will see that it's inside of the green zone. So it's part of the liquidity. It's part of the lunchtime rape zone. Okay, so this is one more confluence for the break of these zones and tap into this demand zone. Okay, since it's a 5 minute demand zone, what do we need to do in this case? If price will tap this zone, what do we need to do?
1 minute cash.
Exactly, we need to wait for a 1 minute change of character. You're right. Okay, so actually I'm expecting the creation of more lunchtime zones in this case. So more demand zones will be formed in this region until this point, this line. This is the New York Open. So I believe more lunchtime fake zones will be formed in this case, breakout structures to the upside. We might see the breakout structure to the upside because that will be the best case scenario, or even a change of character here to the upside, more demand creations, some demand chains, liquidity building up. And that will be the best possible case scenario for the New York Open. Because if price creates fake lunchtime zones, how can we use that to our advantage? If the fake lunchtime zones will be created in this region, breakout structures will be created in this region, until this point, how can we use it to our advantage? As liquidity, exactly. Good job. We can use it as liquidity. Because if price breaks structure to the upside here, so let me just indicate it with some arrows. So let's say price creates a pullback here and breaks structure here to the upside. A new demand zone will be formed right here. Right? Here will be a new demand zone because we had a breakout structure to the upside. Let me just mark it as breakout structure along. Perfect. So it has been created inside of the lunchtime zone. So this will be fake. How can we use this fake zone to our advantage? How will market fuck these buyers in this zone? It will create a small pullback on this zone because it's part of the lunchtime zone. It will collect more buyers on this zone. More buyers will enter in the zone. They will be happy about their profits because, yeah, I'm in profit. Yes, let's go. They are very happy. And then market will just rape them because they are inside of the rape zone, inside of the lunchtime rape zone. And we will wait here in the bus stop because this is our bus stop. Here comes the bus stop example again. This is us. Here's our bus stop. We are waiting in this bus stop again. The early buyers will be swept out from the market. So the early buyers will be swept out from the market. We are waiting for this zone to be tapped. The bus has came to our bus stop. We are pretty happy about it. We have to wait for a confirmation entry and enter on this fresh created demand zone, and we can target the upside extreme zone. This is the first case scenario. Okay, this is the first possible scenario. I will just remove these drawings real quick. This is the first scenario. I will just remove these drawings. And the reason we have to wait for a change of character on this zone, because price has a pretty high chance to break below this zone and continue the bearish movement. Because let me just switch back to the 4-hour chart. Let me just switch back. As you can see, price has reacted in the supply zone. So technically supply is in control. Price is reacting on the supply zone here again. So technically supply is in control. But considering all of this liquidity, I'm still expecting the continuation of the longs up to the supply zone, sweep of the liquidity. So first scenario is what I told you earlier. The second scenario is considering the 4-hour chart and the countering side of the market. The second scenario, if price breaks below this demand zone and the continuation of the shorts down to this demand zone, or even deeper areas, or even deeper mitigations, and fill up the 50% of the inefficiency, but that's really just a prediction. You can't really predict it. Okay, let's focus on this current price action. So the first scenario is what I told you, wait for a liquidity sweep and the confirmation entry on this demand zone and the continuation of the longs. And the second scenario is the break of this demand zone to the downside, reaction on some supply zone, confirmation entry, and the expectational order flow, right of the expectation short order flow down to some deeper demand areas. These are the two possible scenarios for today. Okay, let's switch back to the 1 minute chart. And let's monitor price. As you can see, the upside movement has been already started. So I believe that we will break a structure until New York opens. So yeah, this will be a pretty good setup for today. And let's find, I won't refine this zone because the 15-minute is too huge to be refined. So I will just mark this a 15-minute flip zone / extreme zone. So if price breaks below this demand zone, this decisional demand zone, we'll be able to see the tap of this extreme zone. Okay, but if price changes character here, this will be a 15-minute change of character. Okay, one more thing. If you enter in a short trade on a 1 minute chart, this could be your first target point. This demand zone could be your first target point this week right here, because if price changes character here to the downside on the 15-minute chart, a deeper, upper pullback will be expected to a 15-minute supply zone and the continuation on the 15-minute supply zone. So if you take a short trade in this region, you can target this demand zone right here, target this demand zone. After a break of this demand zone, you can wait for a supply tap right here. That will be your first bust up. So let me just remove the mess. So 15-minute supply zone here. Change of character on the 15-minute chart. Here, you can enter after the break of this demand zone down to this demand zone. Break of this demand zone, wait for the tap of this supply zone, confirmation on this supply zone, and write the expectation short order flow. This is the second scenario for today. Let's see which will happen. All we have to do is react on what price gives us. So basically, all you have to do is react. If price reacts on this demand zone and creates a perfect change of character and criteria entry, just hop in the long trades. You can easily get 1-to-5, 1-to-10 risk-reward ratio. For example, price creates a change of character down here, creates a demand zone. Let's say you enter on the fresh created demand zone with 2 pip stop loss. You can target the 1 minute extreme supply zone up here, for example, and that will be 1-to-5 risk-reward, 1-to-7 risk-reward ratio. So you have plenty of room to trade. All you have to do is react on what price gives us. Okay, this is the pre-market analysis. Does this make sense for you?
Yes.
Yes, very good.
Everything's clear? Everything's
Thank you.
Understood. Perfect.
Very clear.
Very clear. Perfect. Very nice. So, have you guys got any more question? Not anymore, but any question? You can answer your questions now. You
Hello.
can ask your questions. Hello, man. Sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Let me hear your question.
So there is like one demand zone which I was looking for 15 minutes or maybe 5 minutes.
Let me just switch. Which one? You can draw on my screen.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I said you can draw on my screen. I just switched to the 5-minute chart.
Okay, my computer is lagging though. So I will just give
problem.
you the pointer, like it's 1.14130.
Can you just please draw on my screen? There's a tool in the Zoom and you can easily draw on my screen something.
It's lagging. So
Lagging? Yeah, okay. Let me hear the numbers. Just
no,
type
no,
it
no,
to
I
chat.
will just draw. I will just draw.
Okay.
It's,
Perfect.
it's something around. Oh, can you just go for 1 minute?
Of course. Yes.
The left side, yeah. So just little bit upside.
Upside.
Yeah. Down.
Not here.
Not here. Down.
Just tell me the card. Tell me the number. Write it down in the chat.
14130.
14130.
13 downside. Yeah,
141.
yeah, this one. So I was looking for.
So yeah, this one.
So I am looking for this as a liquidity. I can't draw, I guess.
You mean this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not that one. That one.
Not that one.
Yeah, I was looking for this demand, like one.
Okay.
Can I draw it? Yeah, I'm drawing it. Yeah, this demand zone. Yeah, that's demand zone.
Yeah. Okay. That's part of the liquidity. As you can see, this is part of the liquidity. The only valid demand zone could be this one up here. And basically,
Okay.
this is part of the liquidity because it's technically liquidity. That liquidity built up for
Okay.
this demand zone right here. And this demand zone right here could be the one because, of course, it's part of the liquidity. It's part of the liquidity too, as you can see, but it has
Yeah,
liquidity
because-
above. It has liquidity above. Here's liquidity. So if price sweeps this liquidity, which demand zone will hold price? This demand zone has a chance to hold price after the liquidity sweep. But if you take a look at this demand zone, this has not much liquidity just above. It has small liquidity,
Yeah, small
So-
liquidity.
really small liquidity. So if price
Very
taps this demand zone, it will be more likely broken, and this zone will be tapped.
Okay.
But technically, just aim for the 5-minute zones. For your targets, for your destinations, just aim for the 5-minute zones. You don't want to overcomplicate on the 1-minute chart because, as you can see, there are several demand zones on the 1-minute chart. You can mark countless demand zones on the 1-minute chart. And that's why we always refine them on the 5-minute chart, because on the 5-minute chart, you can see really clear demand zones. You can see really clear zones, and those will be your destinations. Those will be your targets, your direction. You know where the market is heading, but don't overcomplicate things with 1-minute demand zones.
Sure. Thank you.
Perfect. You're welcome. Okay. Guys, any more question? Feel free to ask anything.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, Rizam?
Do you feel better at least?
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Do you feel better from COVID?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty much better.
Okay, that's
Thank you
great.
for your question. Thank you. Yeah, I'm taking loads of vitamin C every single day. I'm basically overdosing myself on vitamin C, and it's getting better day by day. Today, I'm not feeling anything. I'm brand new, you know. So yeah. Any more trading related question, guys? You can ask anything about the video course. I'm telling this mainly to the new members. You can ask anything about the video course. You can ask any question about charting, marking up zones, anything, or just about the current price action, if anything was unclear for you. But if you want me to, I will just stop the recording so you can feel safer to ask your questions. Is it okay if I stop my recording?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.